Welcome back, Hordlings, to more Neverwinter nights.
This has become something of a habit, has it not? Once more, Neverwinter is threatened, and once more you are called upon to save us all. Yet this time you will be reporting directly to me. With Erebeth's defection, Lord Nasher has elevated me from the role of spymaster to that of his right hand. To be honest, I much prefer to stay in the shadows. Yet Neverwinter has need of me, so I will serve without complaint.
Me like to serve, Neverwinter. Me get lots of gold for this.
Neverwinter has need of all her allies now, whether they serve for honor, duty, or gold. I have examined the reconnaissance reports of my operatives in the field, and the situation is grim indeed. The Luskan armies are marching against Neverwinter with Erebeth at their head, ravaging the land as they pass and leaving only destruction in their wake. Perhaps even more troubling are the reports of orcs and some of the Uthgard tribes joining Erebeth and the Luskan army to pillage and plunder.
Tell me more about Rico thingy reports. What about Mogrim?
The few reports I have heard of Mogrim indicate he is not with the Luskan army. It seems he is content to leave the battles to Erebeth. I believe Erebeth and the Luskan invaders are but a decoy, a distraction to draw our troops and resources away from the true threat.
A decoy?
It has not been easy to gather information on Mogrim's cult, but we know they are frantically searching for the ancient artifacts known as the Words of Power. Though we do not yet know what these words are, or why Mogrim desires them, we know there are at least 3 of these artifacts. We must not let them fall into the hands of the cult. You must find these ancient words before Mogrim does. If you do not, then I fear any victory by the Lord's Alliance will prove meaningless.
Where me look for power words?
There are reports of Mogrim's followers searching throughout the land. The hills and mountains to the north, the forests to the west, even the sprawling farmlands to the south.
Excuse me.
I wish I had more guidance for you. Perhaps you can learn more from Lillian Cambridge, an expert on ancient artifacts who claims to have some knowledge of the Words of Power. Lillian has promised to offer whatever help she can to any of my agents in this matter. You could probably find her in the tavern in the southeast corner of the camp. I know this may seem an impossible task, but I can think of no other person I would rather have undertaking this mission than you.
What me do with power word if me find one?
If you find one of the words, bring it back to me here. My underground network will transport it to the safety of Lord Nasher's castle.
What me get from this?
Rest assured, my mercenary friend, you will be greatly rewarded if you manage to recover any of the Words of Power. Neverwinter and the Lord's Alliance will be most generous.
Me need get supplies.
This camp has been set up to serve as a base for both the war effort and those searching for the Words of Power. In the various buildings, you will find whatever type of store you require.
Me go now.
I wish you luck in your mission. The very survival of Neverwinter may depend on it.
Hey, it's all my buddies. Great, I can't wait to do more questicles for everyone. Ooh, Grimnaw, you got cool new armor, buddy. Nice. You don't look like such a girly man in that black robe either. Alright, so we have all of our followers here. And of course we need to update on all their quests.
Nice to see you again.
So here we go.
Cheerful again, fella. Brought you here too, huh? Looking for some words of power or something,
Me glad to see you again, Tommy. I was going to take a long hike and look around for my old friend Sammy. I bet he's around here somewheres, but somehow I knew we'd bump into each other again. Well, to make the story short, I kind of was caught doing something I shouldn't have when I was somewhere I shouldn't have been. So Mr. Genn said I had to come and help, or else. Figures that you'd be here too, my lord. With you, the great hero and all. Bet you didn't have to come like I did either. You know stuff about Words of Power, Tommy? Me? Heck no. You might want to trot off to Coldwood and check it out, though. Why? Well, there's always tales of strange things out in the woods. I passed through more than once a month back, and I remember seeing some runes off the path. My guide said that I belonged to some wealthy mage who locked herself away in there long ago, and that she used to collect a lot of strange shit. So, who knows? Old acquaintances of mine in that area too. Name's Vash. I wouldn't trust him further than I could throw him, which ain't far, but he knows that Goldwood well. Join me, Tommy. Okie dokie, my lord.
Eh?
Funny you should ask about my story, my lord. I was an urchin on the streets of Calimport, first and foremost, and that's where I learned my street smarts. But it wasn't always that way. In fact, when I was a tender young lad, a kindly human wizard saw great promise in me and took me in. I was his apprentice, in fact, for quite some time. That's where I met my best friend, Sammy, after all. He's another apprentice. I would have been a fool wizard myself if things had worked out. What go wrong? Well, you know, you can take the lad out the street, but you can't take the street out the lad. I wasn't much for books and studying and all. That wizard, what was his name? Halashah. He saw something in me that I never saw. Said I would make a wizard whether I liked it or not. I thought I would make a wonderful thief if I could be invisible and fly around all the time. I just couldn't wait. Halashah had all these pretty things in his tower, unfortunately. So you steal them, huh? Of course I stole them. What kind of rogue do you think I am? Good, got a good price on the streets too. Even Halashah beat me black and blue by the time I returned. Once I swiped Halashah's spellbook and sold that for a pretty price. Boy, was the old man furious. There was a storm brewing around his tower by the time I got back. Of course I had to lie and say that Sammy took the book. Come to think of it, that's how Sammy got kicked out of his apprenticeship. You got friend kicked out? Well, he wasn't much of a wizard. And old Sammy wasn't my friend back then anyways. I made it up to him by becoming his pal later, once I stopped being an apprentice. By the end of my apprenticeship is quite a story itself. I should tell you that sometime, my lord, if you're interested. That would be later, though. Right now we go to city to save, right? Wrong. Tell me now, asshole. Continue story. Oh, okay, you done good. Bye-bye.
And well met. It is good to look upon you once more. No doubt Aaron Gend has brought you here to aid in the search for the words of power.
Me glad to see you again, Dalian. Your fucking ugly face be everywhere I go, though.
After Erebeth's betrayal, I meant to travel north in search of quest to prove myself to my tribe. Yet, even as we parted ways, I suspected we would meet once more, Lug-Lug. And when I heard of Aaron Gend's call for all those who would serve the cause of Neverwinter to join the Lord's Alliance here at Brun as well, a holy place for the Uthgard, I thought it might be a sign for my gods. After all you've done for Neverwinter, I knew you would be here, Lug-Lug. That's why I came to join with you once more. I feel our fates all bound together. Alright, just fucking join me.
Yes?
There are some who claim Erebeth betrayed Neverwinter out of grief. Others say she seeks to avenge Fenthick's death out of some perverse sense of justice. There are even those who say she was driven mad by Fenthick's execution. And I'm not aware of what she's doing, but I think something else drives her. What do you think Erebeth's reason be? Neverwinter turned its back on her. The city rejected her and its people cast her out. There is no pain so great as being turned away by those who most want to take you in. What you talk about? They not turn her out? Perhaps not, but Erebeth no doubt felt what they did. The people blamed Fenthick enough to kill him. How could she not feel that they despised her as well? And then Lord Nasher sent her to Port Last with Aaron Gent. It was obvious Lord Nasher wanted an excuse to send her away from the city. No doubt he thought it best to calm the people, and keep Erebeth from suffering their wrath as Fenthick had. But in her grief she would have seen it as a cold and brutal rejection, a symbolic banishment. That no excuse for what that bitch did. I'm not saying what Erebeth did was right or even justified, but there is a tale among the Uthgard, an ancient legend of consequence and betrayal. Fenthick's execution and Erebeth's betrayal remind me of a tale of my own people. I only hope Neverwinter does not suffer the same fate of the Uthgard. What fate you talking about? Perhaps later I will tell you the tale, but now is not the time for me to speak of this. We must focus on finding the words of power for Aaron Gent if we are to save Neverwinter.
Yes? Is there...
Hello, it is...
Join the party and shut your fucking mouth!
Is there something you need?
Erebeth's betrayal has caused me no amount of confusion, Lug-Lug. On the one hand, her actions appear irrational and illogical, She has vowed to destroy a city, spent her life protecting. But on the other hand, she isn't logical to assume a warrior will want to avenge the death of her lover. And what about Thentic's death? What caused this whole mess? His execution made no sense. He was not an enemy of the city, and he had lived. He would have done everything in his power to help Neverwinter to make up for what he had done. What purpose was there in killing a man who was only going to be your ally in the future? Such irrational behavior is difficult for me to understand, Lug.
Fentic did stuff that made people get mad. That made people do stupid things. Lug know all about it.
In that time, we bow to the laws of reason and logic. Emotion can never truly be factored out of any decision, but we do our best to look at the facts with a dispassionate eyes before taking action. I suppose in that sense we are quite different from many other cultures of Faerun. We will have to familiarize ourselves with these strange lands if we are to hope to integrate Lantan into the mainland society.
Integrate? What you mean by that?
Lantan is an island. By geography, we are isolated from the rest of the world. Over the centuries, this has led to an insular culture, particularly among people, the gnomes. We consider ourselves safely removed from the troubles of our mainland. We have been fascinated observers of the history of Faerun as befits our analytical mindset, but we chose not to be active participants in events. Recently, however, our culture has embarked upon a radical journey of change, a revolutionary shift in our entire belief system. Soon, perhaps even in its own lifetime, Lantan will become an important part of the life in the realms.
What you talking about? You say Lantan gonna invade?
We are thinkers, inventors, and academics, like not soldiers. We plan to bring our culture and beliefs to Faerun through peaceful means, though we are proceeding in a rational and logical fashion. Before we attempt to introduce ourselves into the existence order, we must study and analyze the current political and cultural realities in an organized and through fashion. Could you expect anything less, given our nature?
Why your country want to change things so much now?
As you can imagine, a revolution of this magnitude must be precipitated by an astonishing event. Without a significant catalyst, there cannot be a significant reaction. In our case, the catalyst is a single wondrous event, the day the god Gond, Wonderbringer, washed upon the shores of Lantan in mortal form.
God not be mortal? What you be talking about?
You have not heard of the times of troubles, Lug, the days when the gods were forced to take mortal form and walk among us. I would share the tale with you, but the story of Gond Wonderbringer's time of Lantan is a long one, Lug. Perhaps I'll speak more of this later, but now is not the time. We need to focus on our mission. We have to get those words back to Erengend.
The fires of war are burning on the horizon. Why am I not surprised to see you here to forge your blood-drenched legacy in the furnace of slaughter?
Be glad to see you too. There are not many who claim it good to see the members of my order, Lug, but you and I are of the same ilk. We do not shy from death and killing. When I heard Erengend was recruiting mercenaries to his cause, I knew you'd come, Lug, just as I did. Our fates appear once more to be bound together. Erebeth's betrayal has stoked the fires of war, and I am eager to see the killing begin, if we are lucky with this war, to engulf the entire region.
Is there something?
I have mixed feelings about the Paladin's actions. I say that she was driven to betrayal by the execution of her lover. She could not accept the death, and then drove her mad with grief and desire for revenge. As a member of the Order of the Long Death, her reaction to the inevitable event seems rather childish. The Silent Lord comes for us all. We might as well learn to accept it. It'd be one thing to accept death, it'd be another to watch your lover be hanging from rope. Would she have felt better had her lover had his entrails removed by a hungry troll? Or had his limbs been ripped out from their sockets by an angry giant? Or perhaps she would have been less angry had a slow-acting poison drawn him into a sleep from which he would never awaken. Death is death, Lug. My order seeks to help the world understand this. So you do not think it was right what she done? The Silent Lord is eager to feast upon the table Erebeth has set for him. And while death gorges itself from the soldiers and civilians alike, I will be present to bear witness to my master's gluttony. You sicko freak, dwarf! Me like it!
You have a love of death and bloodshed that is rare outside our order, Lug-Lug. Yet even you cannot truly fathom the beauty of death or the mysteries of the Silent Lord. As a monk of the Long Death, I was subjected to rituals and ceremonies that brought a true appreciation for that which others fear in the ignorance, torture, pain, suffering, and even death itself. These things are beautiful. Me kill when me have to. Me already like killing and torture and stuff. Maybe me could join your order. Your enthusiasm is refreshing, Lug-Lug. You revel in the Silent Lord's work, but you do not truly bow down to him. I sense you would still balk at your own death. If I could share the experience of my initiation, you might begin to glimpse a more small hint of what death truly means. The only pure, absolute truth in the perfect existence. You teach me. Tell me about rituals and stuff. No, Lug-Lug, now is not the time. Eager as you are, I am afraid you are not ready for the wisdom I would share. Perhaps later I will speak more of this, but now is not the time. You are not yet ready, my young Padawan. Let us return to our mission. For doing so, we will surely spread death throughout the North.
My dear friend, it warms my heart to see your face again. Erengend must have brought you here to help search for the words of power.
Me get really tired of your cheery, happy face. I don't know what your problem today is, Lug-Lug. You come speak to me again when you found some fucking
My dear
manners, you
friend,
big dork.
it warms my heart to see your...
You silly Li-Nu. You are drawn to heroic deeds like a glutton to a bakery, Lug-Lug. I grabbed the first ride out of town and came here. Well, the second ride, actually. You silly! What happened to other ride? You make it sound as if, oh, alright, never mind. I was supposed to hitch a ride with one of the supply wagons at first, but the wagon I was on broke. Broke? What did you do to it? Well, we had stopped for the night, and I had this nightmare that a dragon was chasing me. I woke up out of the dream and saw something large outlined against the moon. I should have known better. It really didn't look like a dragon, but I was frightened. So I cast the first spell that came to mind. The first blast of lightning did a little damage, but it was the following 3 that shattered it to little tiny pieces. Me always get a good laugh round you, Li-Nu. Yes, I seem to go great lengths to cause trouble. It was dark and everyone was so shocked by the lightning that no one knew where it came from. I suppose that they probably would have told them it was me. I had to get here, though, and I'll pay Lord Nasher back out of my own wages when we're done.
Hey there, Gia. What can I do for you?
What makes you decide to become a cleric, Li-Nu? My, it's been a long time since someone asked me that question. I came to Sahenine Moonbow when I was very young, which is unusual since my parents were both mages and followers of the god Corollion. It started when I was sent to Gandol and Centritides' School of Potentials. You see, both of my parents were deep in the mysteries and held positions of respect. It was assumed that I would take after my parents in their magical arts. What be this potential? All children of gifted wizards in Everesca are sent to special schools as potentials because they are expected to excel in furthering the art of spellcraft. My ability to get into trouble had already started by that age, but my parents had kept it quiet, thinking I would grow out of it. Okay, them very wrong. My first day of classes was a disaster, but I don't think I had anything to do with my ability for spellcasting. I had an insatiable curiosity, and Gandolin was the crotchery old master, who expected all elven children to be patient, quiet, and orderly. I barely possess those traits now, let alone when I was a child. The master decided to open class with a powerful spell to awe us in submission to his tutelage. He turned his back, and I moved in. You be worse than me now. It was curiosity, not true mischievous behavior, although I suppose the results are often the same. I just wanted to look at the spell components that were very interesting, especially the wonderful gem he had sitting beside the circle. Well, he went to reach for the gem, and it wasn't there. The spell misfired, causing him to ooze purple smoke for weeks. So he kicked you out? Gandolin was well paid for training us. He didn't kick me out right away, but he never forgave me either. It also wasn't the only accident to befell the class when I was around. Despite all of this, I might still have become a wizardess if I wasn't for that little trip I took. That was an accident that will long be remembered to our fair city. My fate became sealed to my faith in the Sahanian day that day. What fate are you talking about? We have too much to do right now to tell that tale. We will need to find the words of power for Erengend if we are to save Neverwinter. Wanna fuck?
Somehow I knew you couldn't be far. As soon as Erengend mentioned why we were brought here, I began wondering when you would pop up.
That nice. Wanna fuck? Yeah. Join the fucking party. Let's get on with it.
Yes? Is there some...
Tell me a good story, Sharwin. You is Bard after all. I normally save my best tales for the tavern with full audience. Why should I recount a tale only for you, Luglug? Because me ask you nice? Oh ho, so Luglug puts on a pleasant tone and I'm supposed to jump and please him, is that it? I'll tell you what, Luglug, I'll tell you your tale if you promise to listen attentively and be a proper audience. Me can do that. Well, that's good. I'll hold you to it then. But the story should I tell? Shall I tell a tale of the great Luglug, savior of Neverwinter, and his search for the words of power? Methinks me know that one already. Not like I tell it, believe me. You're probably right, however. The subject matter would be a bit familiar, and I'm a bit fuzzy on the ending. How about a sad tale about Lady Erebeth, torn between love and honor, fallen from the grace of Tyr? Me already knows how that ends. That's true, isn't it? Too bad. Hers is a sad tale and itches to be told. Let's see, I'll think of something else. How about the tale of the great Lord Nasher, how the man was in his glory days before he became a sad old fart? Maybe you tell something original. You're going to be picky, are you? Very well then. Give me some time to think. For now, let's continue with making your own tale. Huh?
Yes?
Bitch, you tell me story now. Alright, so who are we going to take along?
You're back, so you must need something. Is there something you need?
Let's take Body Knock for now. Maybe he's leveled up and he's got some actual cool spells. If not, I'll dump his ass.
Nurik!
Hail to ye!
Great, it's Luglug. It be me, Nurik, remember? I was serving in Tyr's church in Port Last until Erengend asked me to come oversee the temple here at Borun as well. Me remember. Good to see you again, Nurik. I'm surprised you remember me, Luglug. What with everything on your mind? The Luskan cult, Erebeth's betrayal, why that's enough to make someone forget their own name. To be honest, I almost didn't recognize you, great hero of Neverwinter. I'm struggling with the problem that has me a little out of sorts lately. Maybe me can help you a problem. I don't know. It's a very delicate matter. Recently, an Uthgar tribesman named Rolgan tried to kill... Where are you going? Rolgan killed one of the Lord's Alliance soldiers. He claims it was self-defense, and I've given him sanctuary here to save him from vengeance of the soldiers' friends. But Rolgan cannot stay in the temple forever. I'm trying to arrange a fair trial for the young man, but his Uthgar friends are unfamiliar with our justice system, and none of the Lord's Alliance mercenaries wants to defer him during the trial. Give me money. Me do trial. Yes. Well, I don't want to be rude, but you are a little, well, slow, aren't you? I don't think you would do a very good job, and it would hardly be fair to the Uthgar. Appreciate your offer, but with you on his side, we might as well start sharpening the spike to stick Rogan's head on right now. I'll find someone else. Is there anything else we can do for you? Fuck your trial, I'll kill him. Maybe me help. Oh, I'm too dumb, huh? I'm too fucking dumb, huh, dwarf? You prick.
people keep your fucking items? Keep your fucking items on the last page, man. The Greater Shield of Dawn. During the times of trouble, Lantan was disturbed with the numbers of undead walking the realms. To counter this, he taught several of the followers how to create these shields. The shields are now bestowed upon those clerics who show the greatest ability to hunt and destroy the undead. I already have a Hammer of Justice. The Greater Brawler's Belt. No, thank you. I like my Belt of Hill Giant Strength just fine, thank you. Tommy's Contract. Sharwin's Contract. Fuck that. I like my extra AC. Need all the AC I can get if I go into tank mode.
Well met.
Welcome to the Temple of Tyr. Should you require the service of the priest, please speak to Newick. Who you be? I am Edgar, a minor acolyte in the service of Tyr. Though I have little in the ways of divine powers, I try to make myself useful by performing the day-to-day functions around the temple. If you need services, talk to Newick. You big dumb fuck.
Hello to you.
Greetings, Luglug. Erengand has instructed me to provide whatever assistance I can to you in your mission to recover the Words of Power. However, my magic is not of healing. My skills are tied to the teleportation portal. Yeah, we know all about you. You're the teleporty thingy guy. Alright, so too bad I'm apparently too dumb to do the trial. I was a good judge when it came to Charwood. I kept everyone in Charwood charred. Go ahead and save on Luglug here on chapter 3. How are we doing on experience? Oh, okay. Well, about 8,000 more to hit 14. We need some big, mean monsters to kill with some big, mean quest. I wonder if I could. Let me try something here. I was going to try to drink an intelligence potion to see if I could just grab the quest. He's not gonna let me do it.
The evidence seems to indicate that won't happen.
Fuck you, Body Knuckle. Body Knock Glinkle. What kind of name is that?
You shall be quick to die!
No, you ain't talking to me. Now I'm gonna break open all your chesticles.
I don't recognize you. And I thought I knew all the new recruits who've joined the Lord's Alliance.
Me name be Luglug. Me work for Aaron Gend.
None can stand before me!
Luglug? The same Luglug who saved Neverwinter from the plague. We could use a good man like you up in the battlefront. It's too bad Gend has you working for something else. You must come in here to purchase some equipment, right? So what can I interest you in? Who you be? You're kidding, right? Everybody knows me. I'm Roll Kid of the Mighty Lance. I'm probably the most famous gnome knight of Neverwinter. Aaron Gend put me in charge of training and equipping the troops, battling the Luskan forces. Seems he's too busy searching for those words of power to bother with a little thing like war. Normally I won't complain, but this isn't exactly what I signed on for. We can't fight a war with no supplies. No supplies? What you mean? Those will blast the August Raiders every time we get a new supply line set up. Those damn bandits cut it off. An army's no good if they don't have a steady stream of supplies replenishing their stores. I tell you, if this keeps up, we might as well surrender to Luskan. Me help? Me go fix problem. Hey, I'll welcome any help I can get. I've already put a bounty out on the heads of the two most famous orc bandits in the region, Vath and Gazud. I figure if they both get taken out, the rest of the thieving scum will get the message and back off. I'm offering 500 gold pieces for each of them, payable upon delivery of their decapitated head. Me help if you give me money up front for job. Yeah, right. We can barely afford to finance this war as it is. I start shelling out for work that isn't even done, and I won't be able to pay my soldiers their wages. The bounty of each head is 500 gold pieces, plain and simple. If you don't like the offer, then fuck off. Tell me where bandits be. Me go kill. You may be dumb, but you are sure eager. I wish more of the recruits from training were like you. You could try looking in the Coldwood to the northeast. That place has always had its share of bandits, and there were some reports of bandits around Fort Ilgard to the south. Other than that, I couldn't say. Finding them's the hard part. Well, that and killing them.
Yeah.
Me do buy stuff? No, I just want to sell this shit I just picked up. Bounty Hunter's Writ. Okay, I'll put that shit in the back, man. What do you got? You got some +5 plate mail? Come on, I got some money to spend. Cloak of Protection +3. Up my AC one. 14,000 gold. Shit, you know what? I need to start buying something. Give it to me. Take my old one. take a bonus AC point. Fuck it. What's this? Squire's Defense. Ew, gay. Chainmail of Speed. Mirrored armor, that's always good against mages and shit with spell resistance.
I'll do you in, I will!
You're gonna do me? Sweet!
I'll do you in, I will! Ugh.
Alright, well, I think that about wraps it up for this video, folks.
Well met.
Well, let's talk to Javon. Maybe he can get me in on the trial.
Yeah.
What do you want? You hear about the trial? Trial? What trial? Come on, everybody's heard about it. Smooth God is up for murdering a Lord's Alliance soldier. Go speak to Nuruk in the Temple of Tyr. He can fill you in.
Yeah.
Me need to get more intelligence first. Me too dumb. And I think in the next video we will be heading over to the drinking house because Lug Lug could use a drink. Hell, so could I. It's 7:35 a.m. Time for a beer.